Attention, brave viewers. This video features adults immersed in a spine-chilling horror RPG experience. The content likely includes supernatural elements, horror-related events, and potentially scenes of violence. Viewer discretion is advised. Enjoy.
Howdy, friends of Floorheads. We are back for the second episode of Trophy Dark. Jason, the show is yours.
Thank you. Ring 3. Ring 3. A narrow band of stone outcrops and more solid ground provides a place to get a view of the woods ahead and the large boggy area left behind. Now here I'm going to speak to everyone except Talia. The ordeal with the swarms have left you all ill and feverish. You had this moment of respite where you knelt before statues depicting the sisters, ancient statues. Some of you left offerings, or at least acknowledgments. And overhead there was this arched ceiling of insects buzzing like some sort of insectile choir. And as you pressed forward, it all just catches up to you. You collapse. And you dream. Fever dreams? Maybe. Good dreams? I'll let you be the judge of that. But I would like for each of the three of you to tell me the dream you have about your drive. And everyone else pay close attention, because I'm going to ask someone else to describe how the swarm affects the dream. Whoever wants to go first.
I'll go first. I think my dream starts with me heading towards the justice office, and I finally have everything counted down to the last coin, the exact amount needed in order for me to clear my name, clear my crimes, and potentially give me a chance to come back to court. And as I'm walking, I'm going over it in my head again and again, like saying it out loud. And in my dream, I finally get to the office in front of the treasurer of the Justicars, and I lay this almost like a bowling ball sack down, and I'm reaching in and I'm going to count one coin at a time. And as I lift the coin out, I look at it, and as I hand it, it turns to dust. I reach for it, and every time I'm handing the coin over, each coin is turning to dust, and I know I've counted it perfectly. And then it's just handfuls, and I just am trying to then I try to dump the coins out on the desk, and it's just all is going away. All these years of work, and it's just this continual, just torturous process.
Oh, good. Nathan, and here I'm speaking to you as a player. Memories of the swarm are going to be what awakens Orlin quite suddenly. How does the swarm invade the dream? What does it look like? What happens?
When Orlin reaches into the bag for what would have been the last coin, a frog's tongue shoots up out of the bag, kind of wraps around his arm, and then following that is just the swarm of bugs that like completely covering up his arm and going towards his head.
Kiva, same dream. Tell me about your drives. What do you dream about?
So I dream about finally retrieving the lost banner of the Nameless Legion. It's beautiful red, but the symbol on it is ever changing. It doesn't stay one. It's hard to comprehend in a sense. I take it with me, and I remember, and I don't know why I promised that I wouldn't give it away. I will keep it. So as I take the banner with me, it slowly starts to unravel itself. And I'm sitting at a stool trying to mend it, trying to stitch it back. I stitch one part back and then the other half starts unraveling.
Craig, how does the swarm invade the dream?
I'm imagining Kiva as you're sewing, the threads that you're using start becoming sticky, and you start realizing that it's actually spider web that you're using to stitch this back together. And as you're trying to make progress, I'm imagining that we see your hands becoming spider hands and legs, and you start like your fingers are just now as you're trying to knit with the web, and the web is now not on a needle but coming from your fingers, excreting out as you are just building this web to try to repair your banner.
And in the dream, a voice over your shoulder says, "Wake up now." Kel, do mannequins dream?
It's going to bother Kel that this time they do.
Tell me about your dream.
Countess Shima's Forbidden Festival, in this case, because Kel's never experienced it, looks like a fancy ball full of all these different constructs and left behind children and left behind pets, and they're all dancing these fancy dances in these fancy outfits, and being served by like the most normal people you've ever seen. And I think they all turned to see Countess Shima herself up on the dais, and she blesses them all before the crowd.
Dika, how does the swarm interrupt the dream?
So as Countess Shima is blessing the crowd, you notice a bit of changes. One, bugs start coming from her mouth, down her body, coming from her hands into the crowd itself. And you'll slowly see them all being consumed by the bugs as a blessing itself.
You all wake up in your own time. Well, not in your own time. You wake up startled, but some before others, but just moments before. And indeed, Kiva, you wake up first.
Mm-hmm.
How does it make you feel to watch your two traveling companions being consumed by maggots?
If they were better people, I'd be sad. But I thought it was just a dream. It will go away, but it's not. And they're still being consumed and pretending things are normal. It's slowly getting, not slowly, it is getting harder not to mention it.
You got something right here.
Just let me get that off real quick.
You will eventually wake up after having gotten fitful sleep. We'll come back to this in a moment. In the meantime, Talia, you didn't get to sleep at all. We find you standing before a tight copse of trees. They almost make like a sort of vaguely church-shaped structure with their boughs and leaves and trunks. And we heard noises coming from inside the very, very dark space in between the trees. Something beckoning you in. What makes you think you might be encountering an avatar of your god right now?
It's the voice, I think. It creeps up the back of your neck and lands in the back of your mind. And it's almost as if I'm taken by the back of the head and pulled forward.
I think this is going to be the risk roll. And I'd like to offer this risk roll as an opportunity for everyone at the table to define what might happen inside for Talia. I have my own thoughts, but I'm very open to hearing what others have to say as we talk about what could go wrong, as we talk about devil's bargains. But what I want to know from you, Talia, since you're in control of the risk roll and you're going to lead us through it here in a moment, I really want to know what you hope to find in here, what you hope is waiting on you.
The divine.
Are you looking for some kind of blessing? Are you looking for some kind of truth?
I'm searching for purpose, for something bigger, for something more.
Interesting. You have the text of the risk roll on the character keeper if you hover over it. Go ahead and walk us through that.
Okay, risk roll. When attempting a risky task, declare what you hope will happen and ask the GM and other players what could go wrong. Let's see. Take one light die if your background or occupation have given you any number of skills that can assist you. I do have surrender as one of my skills.
Oh, that feels appropriate here.
Yes.
Let's back up, though, and talk about what could go wrong.
Lovely.
Does anyone have any thoughts? I'm open to your biggest ideas here. Pretend I have nothing in mind.
What you got, Dika?
I think I have more of a devil's bargain. So I think I'll wait.
I think what can go wrong here is that Talia doesn't see an avatar of her god, but does meet her god as it's dying
Oh.
and as it is looking for its next vessel.
Very good.
So you're already a vessel. So I think the problem is you open yourself too wide and end up holding space for two rival gods.
Oh, that's interesting.
Intriguing. I think what could go wrong here is I kind of like Craig's idea of your god is dying. And furthermore, I'm going to suggest there is a literal manifestation of the sisters that has plunged a sword in their heart. This is a murder.
Okay,
Do
I
you
do
get-
want to add mine.
Okay, please do.
So you would learn that your god has never existed and it was the sisters playing a prank on you the entire time.
You have been worshiping the sisters.
I like
dare
that. These are all great ideas. So let's get dice on the table. Surrender is a great first light die, I think.
Excellent.
We can move to devil's bargains now. If you wish to accept them, you don't have to.
I'll listen to them. I will entertain them.
You're going to be stuck singing whenever you speak, as the worship songs have started to live in your heart.
No matter what, you will be commanded to prevent anyone else from entering the flocculent cathedral.
Ooh. I think no matter what happens, you are going to leave this place empty and feel a consuming emptiness as a vessel.
I'm going to second that one, Craig. Yeah, I like that.
You have 3 options if you wish to take one of them.
I do like Craig and Dika's bargain there.
You have 2 light dice, and I think you have to do a dark die because you're risking your mind, if nothing else, if not your body.
Absolutely. Okay, we're ready. Okay. 4.
It's a 4 light, so you have the option of re-rolling. Let me tell you what the stakes are. You can decide whether you want to re-roll or not. I'm going to play with some of the ideas that have been talked about so far up to this point. So the no matter what thing is that you are going to be empty when you leave. And I'm going to suggest that the reason for that emptiness is because you have to give some of your life force to whatever is in here. If you're okay with that, you can we can role play it out. If you would rather that not be the reason, if there's some other reason why you're empty, maybe it's just your heart is empty, you can add a dark die and roll all of them again.
You know what? Let's do it.
Adding the dark die?
Yes.
Go for it.
So too light, too dark.
Too light and too
Yikes.
dark.
Mhm.
All right. Fingers crossed. I'm nervous. 5 light.
It's the same result. You have to get a 6 to get anything better. You can certainly add another dark die though and try again.
I think I'm all right.
I've described the complication as you having to give some of your life force to whatever is in here. And per the rules of the game, that means you get to kind of narrate what that looks like because I've kind of put the boundaries around it. I guess I'd just like to know, when I get back to you, what do you find in there? What does it look like? And what do you have to do to make sure it keeps living? Think on that for a little bit. I also want to know the answer to this question, which has been niggling in the back of my mind. What does a statue to a forest god look like? And how will that manifest? And why do you need so much money to do it? Anyway, I'll go back to the other group for a bit. Orlin, there's this frog that never left. It showed up during the swarm. Tell me about this frog. How big is it? What's that like?
It is just too big to be anything we would have normally ever seen, right? So maybe when you think of a huge toad in our world, it's maybe the size of like a large softball, right? Whereas this thing is more like the size of a beach ball. It's comes up mid calf. You can hear it when it jumps. It's got enough weight to it. It's never within arm's reach, but always keeps close enough that there's no question it's following Orlin.
Interesting. Memories from home. As the three of you, kind of catching your breath, trying to rest a little bit. Maybe dreading or not dreading the woods that lie before you. You discover somewhere on your person or amongst your gear that a loved one or a friend from back home has included a physical token upon your person. Something that either reminds you of your drive or something that reminds you of why you should or should not return home. What do you discover? What memory does it evoke?
I discover one of my mother's brooches. And the significance is that was my first crime, is that I went into her bedroom late at night, stole it from her jewelry chest, and sold it. And to say I am startled by it being in my pocket is because it's exact. I know it's been years since I fenced it, and I have no idea how it got back into my pocket.
Make a ruin roll, please.
I don't want to. Yeah. All right. So I'm at a ruin of 3. I've rolled a 5. So that's going to take me to 4.
Your ruin goes up. You now realize that you have great wet globs of fungal matter dripping out of your mouth. It spatters onto the brooch, your lying mouth. How are you feeling right now?
Like a mucus sickness, just phlegmy. My mouth, I feel like I always need to cough and spit. And every time I do, I'm hoping it'll clear, and it doesn't. It just immediately, my teeth are noisy as my mouth moves, as it's just that mucusy, greenish, fungal taste. And it's gross. I'm just constantly trying to cough it out of my mouth, and I can't.
Same thing, Kel. What do you find on your person?
It's a like flyer for a bard that had come to town that me and my maker's daughter saw together. And that was the first place we heard of Countess Shima's Forbidden Festival. It was mentioned in one of his songs. But she disappeared a while ago. And I don't know who else would have known to put this in my bag.
What kind of music did the bard make? What instrument, or did they sing?
It was sing-songy, like at a Ren Fair when you have the person that like makes improv jokes with the crowd. It was mostly silly things, but he like stared at me and sang this Countess Shima's song like he knew. And after that, I became obsessed.
You hear it. You hear that music coming from deep within the woods, but not on the path that you're on. I'm not going to push you to a ruin roll yet, but I am curious if you think you're going to follow it.
Oh, absolutely. No question.
What do you find in your pack, Kiva?
So, when I go into my pack, I find a small box, open it, and it reveals a small taxidermied finch with little golden chains on the legs and surrounding the wings. And it takes me back to when I've met one of my first quirky friends, Piper, and she went on a long rant of how birds are just as prisoned as we all are, even though they can free. Even though they can fly.
Words are hard.
Free, right? Words are hard today.
How does it make you feel?
A little reassured. Because I'm ground bound. I couldn't fly from this situation if I wanted to, so I have to go forward.
Have you given any thought to the adder's offer?
I've given it some more thought.
Of taking you directly to the Nameless Legion's banner?
It's a snake words. It's too good to be true. But we've also been traversing in shit and bugs for the past few days. So it's not against it.
Orlin, the frog is doing something that reminds you of someone from back home. Think about what that is.
Oh, well.
Talia. First of all, what do you find?
I think at first, nothing. And as it has been, as all since we've been here, it's the bugs and the filth and the fungus and the things that grow, and they start pouring in and move up into a vaguely humanoid sort of shape.
Interesting. What's wrong with it? Why did it call you here?
because it's barely holding itself together as the bugs are dying and pouring off of its form.
Your tongue is stretching out far beyond the length that a tongue should be. I think you didn't even realize it until you just happened to look down and see it. And you can see the little slug antennae that have popped up from your tongue, stretching toward the corpus of this entity. Your blood perhaps has the power to hold it together, or maybe something else. But what do you do to give it strength?
I pulled the very small knife that's been tucked in my boot, and I slash upwards on my arm.
On your arm?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Does it drink from you? Does your tongue drink from you? And then feed it? What's going on here?
The swarm of insects that made up this being's head comes flying over and lands on the open wound on my arm. And they are just lapping at the blood. My tongue snail, thanks for that image, is not feeding on me, but it is feeding on the dead bugs that litter the place.
This is so interesting because I'm curious, Talia, how are you perceiving all of this? Are you just a bystander watching all of this happen? Are you involved in some way? You're a vessel. So what does that mean? Are you being emptied or are you being filled?
I believe that I've been empty the entire time, looking for something to fill that void.
Make a ruin roll, please.
Okay. I had that at 3.
So your ruin does not go up.
Thank goodness.
I think it's safe enough to interpret this as a positive development. How does it make you feel now? Are you happy? Is this religious ecstasy?
No, this is almost the opposite. It is painful, and I am happy with it vaguely until my own consciousness is sort of shoved into the back of my mind, and then I'm just watching through my eyes.
Kel, do you walk off now?
And it feels like the exact right time.
Yeah. Kel believes they are being drawn into the forest by the music of this bard. Or, I don't know what you're thinking, Kel. Why are you going into the forest?
If I'm hearing that music, I think it's the festival itself.
That's kind of what I was thinking. Let's paint the scene, everyone. Going around the table, everyone but Kel, please tell me what we see that shows that this is a trick of the forest, luring Kel into danger?
I think we are hearing this bard song like in a multiplex. It's all over. And you are watching the tree bark morph into the face of the bard as it sings. And then if you look at it closer, it's just bark. And it's just as if this bard's face just keeps morphing and appearing on a moss, on a rock, on the bark that surrounds you, and you can't ever look at and make eye contact with it like you did that first time.
To know that it's a trick of the forest is that it's guiding you, it's leading you. Even though the sound is everywhere, it's leading you with purpose. Making side, if you try to go right, it made it a little bit too thick to traverse.
Nice.
All of the trees are almost consumed by a creeping vine. And as Kel approaches, they peel themselves from the tree and reach for him instead.
Orlin, Kiva, Kel's got off to somewhere and doesn't return for some time. No idea where Talia is. She probably didn't even make it out of the swarm. Everyone in their own way, though, is pressing forward. The two of you can leave them behind. Maybe you'll meet up with them. And so passes Ring 3. I could use a 5-minute break.
Can we do 10? Does that
10
sound
is
good?
perfect. Yep.
Great. We'll be back in 10. Can we have another ring, sir?
Can indeed. Ring 4. You encounter thick, gnarled cypress trees draped with copious moss. It would be easy to get separated if you weren't already mostly separated. There are thick networks of roots underfoot. Kel, there's a lot of evidence of an ancient civilization here. We've seen a little bit already in the remains of this sort of Saint Stations path. But you will also come across a handful of ancient practice dummies in the ankle-deep bog. They have been impaled with rusting swords and rotting arrows. Sprays of dark red moss grow from the wounds in a pattern reminiscent of bloodstains. These are constructs just like you. How does that make you feel?
Kel is at first like super excited. Like I'm here, I made it. And then it turns to horror. But not for very long. Because Kel's trying to pull out these things. And he knows a ritual.
Interesting. What are you hoping to accomplish here?
I have decided that my maker's daughter is dead. I don't know that she's actually dead. But I've just decided that she's been gone long enough. She must be dead. And I can pull her spirit into one of these mannequins.
Interesting. using your rebirth ritual. I think as you have this idea, the singing that you've been following in the forest actually grows louder, almost as if in celebration, as if it approves of this. Get ready to take us through the risk roll, but for now, I'm going to head over to the others for just a bit. Talia, it's unclear how long you spent in that dark copse of trees. It's not even clear when you staggered out and continued on, staggering over roots through the gnarled cypress trees. Maybe you just quite suddenly find yourself on the path again. You hear a voice. A woman's voice. Talia. Talia of the blood. Follow my voice. Come to me. Talia. Talia of the blood. Find me. What do you do?
I will follow.
Good. Orlin, what is it about this frog that so maybe disturbs you? I don't know. It reminds you of someone back home.
It doesn't disturb me, and it's a frustrating reminder. So soon after being exiled from court, I was on the streets, and there was a boy who I think was 7, just based on the way he talked and moved, but was tiny like a toddler, who just latched onto me, and was just constantly underfoot, right? You know, it's just as you turn to go this way, he's just you know, and I think what this frog is doing is when I'm not paying attention, I just feel it bump into the back of my calves, and it just reminds me of that boy, just always underfoot.
Kiva, Orlin. The Flocculent Cathedral, according to legend, is supposed to be, this is allegedly, one of the first places that the Sisters of Old began their ministry. Some say it's the first cathedral of this new church, built deep in the heart of the fen. Whether that's true or not, what do you see that lets you know you're on the right path? You're getting closer to it.
Carvings of ancient text words, maybe symbols that we've seen come up from time and time again, but no one was able to ever decipher it. We see it more with new letterings around, but it's carved into the trees itself.
I think that we see offerings, statues, jewelry, coin, and we can tell how old the offering is by how much it's been grown over and integrated into the woods. The way a tree can grow around a pole, like as you're walking, you can see parts of these offerings, and we get a sense of just how long ago they were left because the trees have slowly grown around them.
Cal, let's do your risk roll. What do you hope to
Alright.
accomplish and all the rest? Guide us through it.
I hope to revive my old companion as a mannequin. I think I get what. Oh, I have to ask the others what What could go wrong? Nothing, I'm sure, right?
So I gotta go first because I love my idea.
Oh, I have an idea. Go ahead.
What could go wrong is you're successful, but the wounds are still there, and you watch her die in front of you.
Okay. Okay. I am on the same wavelength as you. So what could go wrong is that you are successful, except for she was alive when you snatched her soul out.
Oh no. Interesting.
I'm back in that one.
Oh, that's a good one.
So
I don't have anything to
fast.
add. These are all good ideas. I'll ruminate on them. Keep going.
All right, let's build some die. I believe I have one. I'm an orphan mannequin myself. If it comes to shepherding a soul into a mannequin body, I'm the man for the job. I get one dark die for the rebirth ritual, and then we got to talk devil's bargains.
No matter what, whoever is singing this song shows up.
I refuse to offer one because I want that one.
All right, put me in a position. I'm gonna third that.
I mean, the yays have it.
The vibes
Yeah.
are right. Okay, well,
You can
I'm
reject it,
taking-
of course. You don't have to
I
take
mean,
it.
I'm clearly taking that. I gotta meet this thing. So-
2 light, 1 dark.
Oh boy. Ugh.
It's a 2 dark. Oh, and you fail too. Ouch.
Yeah, and there's no reroll on that.
No re-rolling on that because it's too dark. I want you to think about what the ritual looks like.
Uh-huh.
I'll handle what happens once you finish it, but I just want to know what the process, the magic, what it looks like. Talia, you follow the voice into the fen. I'm not sure if it's even clear whether you're actually going any closer to the Flocculent Cathedral or not. Are you even thinking about the Flocculent Cathedral anymore? Yeah. You eventually find yourself. I'm going to try to paint you a good picture here. It's like a very shallow, mirror bright pool of water. When I say shallow, it's like ankle height. It's very shallow. And it's very wide. The trees, it's almost like you're pushing into like a completely open space. The fen is pushed away. It's still there, but suddenly the early afternoon sun is blazing down. You're in this very thin pool of water. And in the center of it, there's a tree. An enormous tree. It towers up. But you're still pretty far away from it. But I will tell you that tree, or something in the vicinity of the tree, is what's beckoning you. Come to me, Talia of the blood. What do you do?
Without any hesitation, I start moving towards it.
As you get closer, what appeared to be a sort of gnarled root or a piece of bark, as you get closer, you can actually see that it's a woman. Her legs have been badly smashed and are trapped inside the tree's exposed root system. It's as if the roots wrapped around her legs and broke them, holding her there. And her hands are lashed to the trunk by what appear to be strands of moss. And her head is just lolled to the side. She looks almost, it's almost like a crucifixion. And she speaks, though her mouth does not move, her body does not move. Talia of the blood, come close and hear my words. What do you do? Well, first of all, make a ruin roll, and then see what you do.
Okay. Why do you want to do that?
I was about
Oh, okay, ruin roll. Here we go. 4.
Your ruin stays the same, but I am curious how you feel right now.
Envious. At least she has a reason.
Good. How do you? So you feel envious? That's good. You're approaching. We'll come back to this. I haven't forgotten about you, Kiva and Orlin. I want to check in on Kel though.
Okay.
Kel, tell me about your magic.
So Kel took a lot of time taking one of these spears and carving very specific runes into a circle in the stone, and lays the body carefully as they can onto it. When they start chanting, it's again words that they don't, in a language they don't speak. And the brand on their body starts glowing like a sickly green. You see a memory Kel has of how to do this ritual, where they learned it, and it shows like specific colors being used to mark certain things. But Kel can only see green right now. And they're marking those same lines in the wrong colors.
Fantastic. Your beloved appears inside this practice dummy, this construct of wood and straw with a bullseye painted on its chest. It uses its little stick hands to tear at the threads where a jagged mouth has been made. It tears at the threads because it can't speak until it tears them. What do you do?
I think I'm quickly up there to cut the threads. Like my hand sharpens into like a sharp point to do so.
You cut the threads, and after they spit out a gob of moss-rotten batting, they say, "What happened? How am I here?"
This is good. You're with me now. You are safe.
But what? I feel. And then they look down, and you can see that the arrow, there's a quiver as swamp bile blood begins to pump out of the wound. Why did you bring me here? You brought me here to die?
No, to live. And I stick my finger in it. This will stop. This will stop. We will be happy.
I have something to tell you before I go. There is nothing for us when we are not in a body. We go to nothingness. It is a black void.
I will not allow you to go.
Make a
You
ruin roll.
mustn't. I'm okay.
Let's roll a 3.
Eventually, it just stops moving. What do you do?
You see Kel pick it up over their shoulder. Being so much straw, this is lighter than Kel's construction and more carryable. He says, "Don't worry. We will find a way. You're going to be okay." And Kel lays it down on the ground. And it's a little weird because it's a wooden, like not even face, but it tries to kiss it
Oh, God.
before picking it back up and heading into the woods.
Before we get that far, I will tell you that the singing, the music has been getting louder and louder, but it's also become more atonal, like it sort of has a melody of a sort. But that melody, this sort of like ha 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 ha, starts to flatten out as it gets louder and closer until it's just a you can see the treetops beginning to shake. And just underneath that tone, you can hear the heavy footfalls of something very big. Orlin and Kiva, you know you're on the right path. You know it. You eventually come to a little clearing. You will see a trio of people, bloated and reeking of rot, sitting on a tree stump. These people have hundreds of black and purple mushrooms, the color of ugly bruises, sprouting everywhere over their stretched, bloated, distended skin. There's a long dead campfire between them. And they appear to be reenacting some pantomime of whatever their former life was. They wave their now puffy arms at each other. The fame of Belfort, the full bow. The full Belfort. As they speak, spores, fungal rot dribbles out of their mouth. Both of you, please make a ruin roll.
Yeah.
Fine.
Oh,
good.
I like your roll, Dika.
Oh, I like yours as well.
What do you're all razor sharp right now. Your rune's not going up. You're in it. What do you do right now?
I look over to Orlin and say, well, I took care of the guards, so have fun.
Well, I took care of the swarm. It's your turn.
They stand up. They heave their massive bulks off of the tree stumps. And they begin to lumber forward toward you. One of them has like a piece of paper, a piece of parchment in its hand. This piece of parchment is slick with all manner of bog slime. But this person with eyes stretching as wide as they can inside the cluster of fungal growths that are all around their face is stabbing a fat mushroom shrouded finger on the parchment. And they begin lumbering forward toward you. I will tell you that per the rules games, you actually can't fight them. You have to run or just try to avoid them in some way. I want to know what you do as they lumber forward.
Their intention, is it to hurt us, or we're not sure?
Yeah, they're not our friends. Not friendly.
I am going to use ether on myself.
To get the heck out of Dodge, huh?
And I will tell Orlin, listen, I am going to attempt to make us invisible. And I'm going to use it for myself.
I grab onto your hand like I want to be a part of this.
You're going to be doing a risk roll. We'll resolve that in a moment. I do want to know what you're going to do, Orlin.
I'm panicking for very valid reasons. Don't completely trust what Kiva just promised. I think I'm going to take, and by the way, my companion is named Bean. I'm going to take Bean the frog, and I am going to he bumps into me, and I'm going to pick him up, and I am just going to throw this volleyball-sized frog at this grotesque zombie bloated fungal thing.
With the hope of doing what? Exactly.
I'm trying to do some trickery, so just cause this wet big toad frog to land on it, which hopefully gives her a chance to do her ritual, which will not affect me, so I can run.
So you can run. Okay, got it. Yeah. Okay, good. I think I think the way I like this is maybe you do a help roll if needed for Kiva's roll, even though you don't benefit directly from the ritual. Yep. You can benefit from the escape, right? So, Kiva, take us through it. The risk roll is yours.
Okay. So what I hope happens, and also what I hope happens is that I become not perceivable or a threat to these things, so I can kindly F off around them and keep going forward.
Fantastic.
So this is when you all say what could go wrong.
I think you get snatched by one of these things and it vomits a life-ending amount of bog spore into your mouth, and that's that. It's a Last of Us clicker situation, right? It's one of those kinds of things. Yeah. Or the real bad ones, the real big
Yeah, I forget what they were called.
Yeah, the tank ones.
Yeah. I know.
That's what I think is going to go wrong.
I think what could go wrong is that you do go to ether, but can't come back and just become part of the bog mist forever.
Lizzie, you got something, or you want me to go? I think you successfully get past them, and whatever it is on that scroll or that parchment that they're pointing to is directions to achieve your drive without death.
The banner.
That'd be a good devil's bargain too, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going to go pretty simple on this one, and I think that you get pulled down into the muck after you stumble across something.
Well, let's get dice.
Okay. All right. So, I would say I get 1 light die for ritual.
Mm-hmm.
And for a devil's bargain, is there, or am I going too far ahead?
Oh no, that's where we're at.
Okay.
You can take a devil's bargain from one of us if we have one to offer.
All right. Any bargains?
Hmm.
Let's go back to that parchment then. And
Yeah.
say that it has the instructions to avoid death to get to the banner, and you don't get to see it.
I think no matter what, you cannot completely solidify again.
Oh.
That just different parts of you at different times become intangible, and clothes and gear will fall periodically. Something you're carrying will fall through your hand. That this ritual will not stop.
I think that no matter what, you make it into your ether form, but you almost inhale some of the spores, and they stay with you, regardless of your current state.
I'm going to say yeah, I like what everyone's has offered up to this point. I think I'm going to say no matter what, this is like only, yeah, this works. No matter what, the Kingsguard that have been tailing you this whole time show up.
Huh.
More a problem for Orlin.
Right? That's what I'm like.
That's why I wish to formally complain.
I like. I think I'm going to pick Lizzie's in this case.
Remind me what it was?
I go into the ether form, but I inhale some of the spores.
Oh, that's pretty good. Yeah.
When you go solid again.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay. Fantastic. You have got 2 light and 1 dark.
Okay, 2 light, 1 dark. 1 dark because I am performing a ritual.
Correct.
Okay, perfect. All right. I think I'm ready. Let's see what happens.
Man, you're rolling.
5 light. I'll tell you what the complication is, just so that
Okay.
you can decide whether you need the help from Orlin or not. I'm going to say the complication is maybe the whole Kingsguard doesn't show up, but Orlin's cousin does. If you're okay with that. Or Orlin, if you would like to bump it up to a 6 to avoid that.
I would.
Now, per the rules, Dika has to agree to the help. So,
do you want to bump it up?
I would.
All right, I will agree.
I do not like my cousin. Thank you.
You're going to do a help roll. If your die comes up a 3, because that's the dark die in Kiva's roll, then your ruin goes up.
Oh, thank gosh.
Dose.
It does not help. And so unless you want to add a dark die and try again, Kiva, that's what it is.
Nah.
Okay. Be thinking about what your escape looks like. Both of you both actually do get to escape. I want to know what that looks like. But for now, let me check in with Talia. Talia, as you approach this woman who is bound quite violently to this tree, who you can see as you get closer appears dead, not moving or breathing, but is definitely the one speaking to you. What do you do?
I'm going to approach her and kneel in front of her and just say, I'm here.
Talia of the blood. I am called Fayen of the Twisted Roots. Some call me Saint. I care nothing for such titles. I am here because I hold back the wrath of the forest. You have given blood to the vermin gods of this place. Seek the flocculent cathedral and take up your mantle. Become a saint of the fen like me.
I stand back up, and as I do, the kind of dirty and tattered, what was once a white dress, almost seems to ripple into metal that hardens around her, and she's wearing her old battle armor, carrying her sword on her side.
Will you kneel down in the water and pray with me?
I will.
When you kneel down, maybe you even assume a prostrate position because of the magnitude of this moment. You can feel the roots of the tree underneath the water sliding over your wrists, over your legs, over your torso. She's trying to draw you in to take her place. What do you do?
I'm going to whisper back to that voice in my head. Can you bring me peace?
I do not have the ability to lie to you right now. You will know centuries of boundless torment. You will have to feel every time a careless woodsman kills a sapling with his axe blade. You will have to feel every time a colony of termites hollows out a virgin trunk. You will have to feel every time the sun blazes so hot it scorches the bark. It will feel like the very essence of you is being drawn out from your flesh. It will crack in dryness. You will feel those events that happen only once every 1,000 years. When torrential rains flood this place and you drown over and over and over again, and I will feel it no more. We'll come back to this. Kel, this singing is coming out of the throat of a colossal rutting stag, helpfully the color of jade. The stag is 15 feet high at the shoulder, with a rack of razor-sharp antlers overgrown with thick moss and lichen. Its nostrils spew clouds of foul-smelling spores that will poison any who inhale them. Maybe not you. It steps out into the clearing. You can see now that its enormous rack of antlers actually has the remains of people pierced to them. You will see gore encrusted on its hooves. It lowers its rack of antlers, stamps the ground, and charges toward you. What do you do?
I think Kel's body starts to shift. And if I remember right, you can't fight monsters in this game. So we're not going to try to fight.
Only to escape. You can fight them to escape, but not to kill them.
Yeah. Well, I don't think we're trying to kill them. But I think its own rack of horns come out of this tiny little body, just horns. And Kel steps over the now lifeless mannequin in front of them and tries to meet this thing horns to horns.
To
And
accomplish what?
Its only thought is to protect this body, because as far as and long enough to convince this forest god to save the one he loves, even though
It's going to be a risk roll. We'll come back to it.
Yeah.
Kiva, please describe your escape.
Oh, so
Hey, Craig, I think our feed just dropped.
Oh, okay.
All right, we shall.
Give me just a
Pause
second.
again.
Let's see here.
Oh no.
oh no,
Anybody in the chat, if you can tell us if we are still live. No, we're live. We're good.
Oh, must just be something on my end.
Yep, we're
No,
good.
it's
Thanks
fine.
for keeping an eye out, though.
Okay, Kiva, tell me how you escape.
so this looks slightly different than what she did in the forest. It's more so camouflaging. She doesn't think these things would be able. She actually thinks they may be able to see through spectrally, but if she camouflages within the forest, so just becomes enough intangible so she can slide by them.
It's like Predator.
Yeah, yes. predator's cloaking technique, essentially.
Fantastic. I love it. Orland, you're going to escape as well. What does that look like?
It's me scrambling. That I'm hoping that Kiva's little magic is drawing these bloated things towards. And even though they may not be able to locate her, it's enough of a distraction between that and Bean that I'm able to hide behind some roots that have grown out in humps, and just I'm crawling elbow and hip deep in this bog and just scrambling away like a coward.
You never meet back up with Kiva before someone grabs you and pulls you violently behind a tree. It is your cousin. His Kingsguard armor and regalia is covered in bog muck. He stinks of sweat. There are gnats buzzing all around him. His hair is matted. And he says, "Got you, cousin. What are you doing here? What are you doing out here? Bringing more shame to our name, no doubt."
I have 2 days left. 2 days to get the money.
2 days? You should have paid better attention in your classes with the astronomers, cousin. You have interpreted the calendar wrongly. Your deadline is long past. And now the question becomes, what do we do about it?
I think I grab both sides of his head and bring him in to a deep kiss and
To accomplish what?
spew the spores in
yes.
my mouth and the mucus and just transfer all of that in my mouth to him. So just a deep, passionate cousin on cousin kiss.
So we've got 3 risk rolls that we're setting up here. I'm going to start with Talia, or maybe it's a risk roll. I don't know, Talia. Talia, what's going on? I mean, like, there's a version of this where you like assume this, but I think this is not. It's maybe not what you think it's going to be. She's being very upfront about what to expect.
Give her credit.
Yeah, exactly. What do you do?
I am going to flash through my memory of every single life that I have taken on the battlefield. One after another after another. It seems almost endless. And I'll say, I probably deserve it. But not today.
How do you resist?
I'm simply going to try and tear myself out of the
Let's
roots.
begin. The risk roll. We know what you're trying to accomplish.
Yes. Okay, background or occupation. Let's see. Do I have anything? I do have my retired soldier.
Yeah. what are
And
your skills
tactics?
associated with that?
I've got attraction, rituals, surrender, and tactics.
I'm not sure if like just
know.
ripping out wildly counts
Yeah.
as tactics.
Yeah.
There might be something interesting to do with surrender, maybe like you kind of like a feint or something, I don't know, but
Oh, that might be a good idea. Allow it to believe that I have given in and let
Yeah,
it
and then-
relax. And as soon as it
you rip free. Yeah, exactly.
relaxes,
yeah.
I go. Yeah, I love it.
I like that as one light die. Yeah.
Okay. And then I'm
My
gonna
devil's
ask
bargain.
you what's wrong. Oh,
My devil's bargain is no matter what, you will take up a place permanently in the Flocculent Cathedral.
I think no matter what, you have the reason it lets go, or let me rethink it. Go ahead. I changed my
No matter what, you will always have a piece of her pain with you.
that's where I was headed. That's better.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
I think no matter what, this manifestation of your armor and your soul and your soldier self does not escape. And you are back to just a very thin white Under Armour dress, very vulnerable.
I think no matter what, your tongue extends and becomes a helmet that you must wear.
That's the kind of weird shit I'm here for. I don't even know what that means,
Wow.
but I love it.
Amazing.
That's
Flesh
a
slug helmet.
Yes.
that's what we love.
I'm gonna
Okay.
pass on that one.
You got four choices on the table.
I mean, really 3, but you know what? I'm gonna go with Jason's.
You have 2 light, and I think you have to do a dark because
Yep.
of the danger.
Absolutely. Okay. I think that's it. Here we go. I got a 4 light.
The complication is going to be you know that you have to prevent the other treasure hunters from entering the cathedral. They cannot despoil the space. If you're okay with that.
I am.
Okay. Please describe how you escape.
Oh. I just simply relax. And it almost responds to me instead of to the woman in the tree. And it just relaxes as well. And I take the moment to push myself upward and take off Hall Acid.
I think as you run, she says, "You cannot run away from your fate, Talia of the Blood." Kel, do your risk roll, please.
All right. So again, we're trying to convince this thing to accept our surrender and heal my love.
Yeah.
What's going to go wrong here?
It just smashes the shit out of you.
Yeah, you become one more trophy on this rack.
I don't set up very ambiguous situations, do I?
It will bring back the puppet, but a bastardized version of it.
I kind of like that. That'd be a good devil's bargain too. I have a thought for a related devil's bargain. I'm gonna hold it till we get there.
All right. I've got beasts as a skill and mimicry, so I feel like mimicking this animal
Good
behavior
call.
is the easy one.
Mm-hmm.
And I am using a ritual, so I have to use a dark die because this is my beast ritual.
Oh, I see. You're taking a form halfway between human and animal. Okay, great.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And devil's bargains.
I'm gonna say it. No matter what, whether in the construct or whether in the inky black void of nothingness, the spirit of your beloved goes mad. It's broken.
I think no matter what you did to your beloved prevents you from ever performing that ritual again.
I think no matter what, you survive, but her spirit will never forgive you.
These are harsh.
I think no matter what, you are stuck in this hybrid form.
Ooh.
I think I'm going to go with her never forgiving me. I just feel like that's a very right, like following the fiction.
Mm-hmm. 2 light, 1 dark.
Here we go. That's a hot 6, baby.
6 light too. The die roll is
Yeah.
very kind tonight. Very kind tonight.
Yeah.
This
Full
game's
success.
easy.
Yeah, full success. What does it look like?
For just a second, it looks like Kel has stopped this thing. But that's just the spirit god playing with them. And as they get toppled backwards, they give a submission display, and this forest god understands what Kel's asking for, and that rune starts to glow again as life pulls through out of that rune into this broken form. That wound that had bled out before heals, but that's when the screaming starts.
That feels like a good cut right there. And let's wrap up. I've got one more little thing with Kiva, but first, Orlin, your move against your cousin here.
The kissing cousins.
The
Yeah.
risk roll.
Yep. What I am attempting to do is I am attempting to get away. I'm attempting to kill my cousin in this process. And I'm going to really go on a limb and reduce and eliminate my mucus condition. So in the process, just transfer
You
that.
transfer it to him.
Exactly.
I like that. Yeah, I think that's really good.
Now, can I take a light die? I want to take it for trickery.
We have to say what could go wrong first, though.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, what could go wrong? I apologize.
You violently expel all of your innards.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This thing was never your cousin.
Oh.
And as you kiss it, vines shoot out of its mouth and tear you apart from the inside.
Both fun results. Let's go to your dice.
Okay, so I would like to take one for trickery.
Fantastic.
And then I can take one light die for accepting a devil's bargain from another player or the GM. So no matter what.
His soul escapes into yours, and you have to hear his voice for the rest of the time.
No matter what, he told people if he doesn't come back, you killed him.
I like that. That has implications for your epilogue, right? So,
Yeah, I like that too.
yeah.
I'm gonna back that one.
Yeah,
Two
I'll take that.
offers.
I'll take that one. I'll take Kiva's.
2 light, 1 dark.
Yeah,
'Cause
definitely
of
a dark.
The
here.
violence of it.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely a dark here. All right, let's see if we can keep this going. You ready?
Yeah, the die roll has been very kind.
Yeah, could be worse. I got a 4 light.
I think the complication.
I don't like that laugh at all, Jason.
The complication is that he actually was sent to deliver your absolution, but killing him puts you right back on the slab.
Love it. Oh God, that's great. Oh, that's great. I just didn't give him a chance to say it before I stuck my mucus tongue in his mouth. Oh, that's amazing.
Go ahead and I'll describe how you learn that, but go ahead and describe what it looks like.
You can just see the startled look in his eyes as I grab and he realizes what I'm about to do. And it's a very passionate kiss. And then it's like, you just hear just that guttural from deep inside me. And it squeezes out between our lips what I'm expelling inside of him. It just falls over my face and over his face. And he falls to his back and I'm just on top of him, just driving this disease inside of me into him.
And as you collect yourself, you'll find a scroll tube on his belt. And when you crack that open, you will see your mother's pardon.
Oh my God.
Your mother's pardon. And a note beckoning you to come back. Come back with the Kingsguard. Come back and let's make everything better. Except, as we know from the Devil's Bargain, you're never getting out from under this. And
Nope.
and you almost did. You were so
Yep.
close.
That was really good.
Kiva, you're pretty far ahead of the rest of the group now.
Mhm.
You are getting closest to the flocculent cathedral. Indeed, you reach it. You see it. The cathedral is a natural grove of massive, tightly packed trees, utterly overgrown with thick layers of moss that are many feet thick. The trees make a vague bell tower shape. It actually looks like a cathedral made of twisted moss-covered trees. And there's a large pond or lake that it kind of sits in. But before you can cross the threshold into the clearing, you cannot step any further. If you do, I will be forced to rescind my offer. Come back with me. Receive my venom, and it shall take you to the land beyond the veil, where you will find the banner. Press forward, and I shall disappear into the underbrush forever. So passes ring 4. I would love to take another break, Craig, if
We
we
can
could.
definitely do it. Let's take a quick 10 minutes. Last ring.
Ring 5. The Flocculent Cathedral. You know you're all getting closer to it. Those of you who are not already there. Orlin. You come across 3 leather-armored corpses, their helms staved in. They lie in a root cluster behind a huge mossy tree. A massive, intricate spider web glistens between their bodies, and exactly 13 emerald green spiders scuttle along its strands, and as if to emphasize the point, they form a pattern with their bodies, pointing in the direction that you need to go. How are you feeling about what was revealed to you?
giving up. So I think at this point, my drive is gone. Now I just want to acquire as much treasure as I can, just to survive and get away. So any dreams of returning to court, any dreams of clearing my name are gone. So now it's just pure greed, enough money to hop on a ship somewhere and just go.
Make a ruin roll.
Ah! That's not what I meant to say. There you go.
Your ruin goes up to 5. How do you know you are willingly or unwillingly becoming thrall to the Fen?
I have stopped trying to get the forest off of me. So every time I would fall, I would spend time, brushing things off, cleaning, wiping off the mud and everything. And I've stopped doing that. So I'm now just allowing all the muck and the fungus and everything, just allowing it to just sit and soak into my clothing and on my skin. I don't clear it off my face anymore. So I'm becoming caked and not trying to stop it.
Kel, what is it like with this person you've brought back? How are they treating you? Did you make a mistake? What's happening here?
They are keep trying to get away, but their body is not strong. They're not adapted to it like I am. So I'm able to...
They don't have legs, right?
Oh, it's true, no legs. Yeah. So they're just kind of complaining in my ear, telling me what a horrible thing I've done as I march on.
Make a ruin roll.
I'm okay. I was at a 4. I'm still at a 4.
You're getting closer as well to the flocculent cathedral. You know it because you come across an oddly shaped arch that rises a score of feet over the trail. The arch is actually a pair of colossal antlers overgrown with brown moss, beckoning you in. Talia of the Blood. You come across the decapitated head of a colossal statue, lying face up to the sky, half sunken in the wet soil. Brackish, algae-scummed water fills its gaping mouth and pools in its eyes. A cloud of dragonflies copulate in midair as they flit above it. The face of a saint trapped in the mire. You're getting closer to the flocculent cathedral. How do you know this is your calling?
Because I can hear it, but not at an auditory sort of level. There's just this hum in her bones, in her veins, and she just is pulled by this, her fate.
Oh, we can't hear you, Jason. You're still muted. You're muted.
The hum, probably not unlike the hum we heard with the insects. There is a reverence to it. There is a holiness. And unknowable liturgy and the vibrations. You see the flocculent cathedral. You're approaching it from a different way than Kiva. But you see it. You see this towering structure made of tightly packed trees, overgrown with thick layers of moss. You can see tiny gaps that would allow you to look inside the cathedral. You can see a bell tower that's been formed by the twisting of the trees up high. What do?
I think to begin with, I am going to approach one of the gaps and put my eye to it.
You can see inside the cathedral. You can make out a smooth altar of meteoric iron, delicately wrought silver candelabras, intricate statues that make up the stations of the sisters, the stations of the saints. You can see a lectern with a heavy tome bound in verdant green leather and banded in intricately worked copper atop it. All around are stone pews draped in thick moss, decadent and somnolent. You are here for a purpose now. Your former fellows are here to rob it blind, to take all of these antiquities, these treasures. One of your fellows is even now standing at the threshold of the clearing. You have a chance to turn back, to take the adder's offer, Kiva, or not. What do?
We're going to grab my bag, and I'm going to hold it close to me. In a deep thought, it promised me a way to the banner. I trust it, and yet I'm not ready to take venom, so I toss it back to the ground.
You step forward.
I step forward.
Talia, you see Kiva step forward. Now, I will say that it's not immediately obvious how you are even able to get into the cathedral. There are no doors. But there are ways. Maybe you each see a different way. Maybe you can see from the direction you're coming, Kiva, that that body of water is actually a well. You might be able to come up into the cathedral from it. Talia, you can see the bell tower. You can see rough, gnarled roots, not dissimilar to the ones that had trapped Finay of the Twisted Roots, that could be used as handholds to get up to the tower to come up and down into it. What are you both doing right now?
I am going to drop into the water.
Talia?
I feel like I have been touched by these roots now. And I'm going to commune with them and try to collapse the well behind her.
I think this is a contest roll. We'll come to the contest roll in a moment. I do want to check in with Kel and Orlin, who I'm going to put together. you come upon each other, reunited. The scene is yours.
Orlin, meet my wife. My wife to be, of course. We must get to the festival. Make it proper.
Kel, it's a bundle of straw.
I'm a bundle of sticks. It all works out.
I don't know where Kiva and Talia are, but I'm willing to work with you together, and we split things 50-50.
If you get me inside, you can have all the treasure. I only seek the festival.
Partners we make. I love that offer.
You look like you've had a bad day.
Yes, Cal. This has not been a good day.
Would you like me to find you a spouse?
No, Cal. Thank you.
I can pull whatever soul you have lost.
What do you mean?
Just like I have done here with my beloved, I can bring their soul.
Into what vessel? What body are you talking?
I know where they're. I have bodies. There's a whole field of these.
Let's get inside. I need to think about that.
Before you arrive at the cathedral, let's resolve this situation between Talia and Kiva. So let's talk about the contest roll. We haven't done one yet. It's typically in Trophy Dark, you do it at the very end. If we go to the character keeper, I think the text is on there. It is.
Yes.
When treasure hunters act against each other, compete, or want to inflict harm on each other, you have to first agree what's at stake. So you can go as hard as you want here. It's the end. Do you want to kill Kiva? Drown her in the lake? Kiva, once you realize what's happening, do you want to strike back at Talia somehow? Or do you want to just get inside first?
So, and tell me what you feel, Talia. So I also have a ritual called tadpole.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, good.
So I'm not necessarily worried about drowning.
You could be crushed, though, if the root...
I could be crushed.
You're starved.
Yeah.
Yes. But I want to try to escape.
Mm-hmm.
And if I survive, I'll keep in mind.
So survival is what you're playing for, and killing Kiva is what you're playing for, Talia. Yes. Fantastic. I love it. I love a contest roll. Let's keep going. Let's keep reading it. You are going to take one light die if your occupation or background gives you an advantage. You only get one light die, even if multiple skills would apply. So basically, do either of you have a skill that would help you here?
Coordination.
I have a background as a retired soldier, and I have tactics.
I think tactics gives you your light die.
Yeah.
You can actually, I'm going to say you can get your light die from the tadpole ritual. I think that is appropriate here. So you both are up to one light each. You get one light die for each mark of ruin you currently have. You both have 4. And so you're both now up to 5 light each. It's 5-5. You take 1 dark die if the contest is inherently dangerous. I think it is in both cases, even in your case, Talia, because the forest is not friendly and is not your friend.
And I've summoned those roots back to me.
Exactly, yeah. Mm-hmm. So you are both now at 5-1. And then finally, you take as many additional dark dice as you are willing to risk. Don't say how many yet.
Ooh.
But here's the consideration. You're going to roll. You don't know how many dice the other person is rolling. You're going to both roll at the same time. And we're trying to see who can get the most 6s. Whoever gets the most 6s wins the contest and gets what they wanted. If any of your dark dice come up, a 1, you have to mark a ruin for each one. So you're both at a minimum of 5 light, 1 dark, and you get to risk as many additional dark dice as you wish. Stakes are pretty high for you, Kiva. So
Oh,
Yep.
once you have, go ahead and go to the die roller and just on the contest, just type in the number that you are going to have ultimately. Don't tell us yet.
okay.
So think about it. There is some math to do here. And decide how many you're risking. And then type it into the die roller. Don't roll yet. Give me a thumbs up when you've got it typed in. Go ahead and roll. All right. So Kiva risked
Oh, bullshit.
2 additional dark, and Talia risked 3 additional dark. There was 1 6 on one of the rolls, meaning there is a decisive winner. It is Talia. Please describe Kiva's end.
Kiva, as soon as you land and you get that splash in the water, a shadow falls over and you look up and it's me standing there with my helmet down now. And all of a sudden, roots just burst through the walls and grab you and basically tear you apart in the bottom of this well.
Kiva, please think about your epilogue. How is the world different from your passing? Or maybe what do we see Kiva doing in the land of the dead? Think on it. Talia, sometime later, Kel and Orlin arrive at the clearing for the cathedral. Kel, Orlin, you see the cathedral as I've described it previously. Talia, where are you when they arrive?
I am standing at the top of the stairs.
So they can see you.
Wide stance, sword drawn. Yeah, I'm very visible.
The scene belongs to all of you.
You're safe, Talia.
I am.
Where did she get the metal clothes?
I don't care, but that's helpful for us. Where's Kiva?
Kiva is no more.
That's less helpful for us.
So before we got here, Cal said I could have its share. I'm willing to split 50-50. Let's
There
go
will
inside.
be no shares.
Oh, good. I didn't want one anyways. You all figured this out.
No. Talia, we talked about this at the very beginning. Split
Neither
evens.
of you will enter this cathedral.
Talia, have you met my wife?
No?
Is this a married man thing? Because I'm working on that.
I'd like to suggest that other mannequin hasn't said a word. It's just the limp
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
thing. Who knows if it ever did, right?
Yeah. Orlin thinks whatever Cal had to work with is long gone, and I don't know what's happening right now. I'm going to step forward, Talia. I'm going inside there, and I'm taking everything for myself because I deserve this. I've deserved it from the beginning.
You deserve what you will get. Take one more step forward, and I'll pull my sword and point it at you.
And I will take one step forward.
Contest roll.
Yep.
Same thing. What are the stakes here?
I will attempt to kill him.
Orlin, what do you want?
I'm going to get past her. And I don't think she will fall living, right? So I'm gonna have to kill her to get through her. And it's again me just coming up and just spewing all the bile that's inside of me.
Oh, fantastic. Let's go to the contest roll. You will take 1 light die if your occupation or background gives you a skill here that's relevant. What do we think, Talia?
Oh, I still have my tactics, my retired soldier.
Yeah, I like it. I also like the idea of like surrender as in no surrender, you know?
Oh yeah, that's a very good. Never surrender.
Never surrender. Yeah. What about your skill?
I'm struggling. I've got performance, rituals, trickery, and appraisal.
Trickery, right? I mean,
I
because
think
you look
so.
like you're coming in with a blade, but you're actually going to belch the last bit of your
Yeah,
your
I'm
fumbled
good with
thought.
that. So I'll get a light die for that.
Fantastic.
Right. Then I get 1 for each mark of ruin, so I'm going to get a total of 6 die.
So it's 6 light for Orlin and 5 light for Talia.
Mm-hmm.
You each get 1 dark die, so it's 6-1 and 5-1. And as before, you're going to risk as many dark dice as you wish to risk. Any dark dice that come up 1, increase your ruin by 1.
Oh, man.
Go ahead and enter into the die roller secretly your totals.
I think we should point out that Craig's at 5 ruin right now. 1 dark 1, and he's ruined.
Craig can still win, though.
Yeah.
And die at the same time and be ruined at the same time. That's a great outcome, actually. It's a great story outcome. Once you have your total wager entered, please put your thumb up. Hit enter. Go ahead and roll.
Oh.
Okay, so Talia had a total roll of 5 light, 4 dark, and Orlin had a total roll of 6 light and 5 dark. We're counting up the 6s. They both have 2 6s. Because you tied on 6s, we go to the 5s. Talia has 2 5s, and Orlin has 3 5s, making Orlin the winner of the contest. However, 3 of Orlin's 5 dark dice are 1s, meaning your ruin, if it could go to 8, it would, but it can only go to 6. And so but you win. You get to deal with Talia in the way you've described, but you are lost to the forest. So just go out in a blaze of glory here, both of you. What does this look like?
I am going to come up to you, Talia, just slowly, 1 step at a time, and I'm going to wait for you to make the move. And that's when I am going to leap on you like a frog, with my feet on your hips, my hands on your neck, and just bah!
I think she inherently inhales at the surprise, the shock. She very, very rarely misses a strike. And it's just the surprise of it when she throws you off. Well, I will throw you off of me and stumble backwards. And as I do, it seems as though my armor is pulling me further down, and the roots that I have hated and loved through this thing just reach for me and pull me down.
And
Or-
can I describe my end, Jason? What
You
happens here?
can, or you can do it in epilogue. It's up to you, however you want.
I think I'll do it here, if that's okay.
Yeah,
I think
please
that
do.
I think I realized that I'm not going to kill her. That in fact, all I've done is stunned her so that the forest can take her, and that's not good enough. And I run up to you as you're getting pulled down and crushed, and just continue to expel. And it stops being bile. It stops being fungus, and you start to see blood, and you start to see my kidney just come out of my mouth, and I turn inside out essentially and empty myself and collapse on top of you.
There's a magnificent scene in Lucio Fulci's City of the Dead where a person just it's like it lasts for like 2 minutes. They're like vomiting their innards out, and it's amazing. And that's what I pictured. So good. We'll get to the epilogues for the three of you in a bit. Kel, lonely Kel, what are you doing right now?
Kel walks into the cathedral, targeting Dummy on his back, gigantic beach ball sized frog at his side. Squeezing through cracks in the walls that would have been too big for a normal man. And realizes there's no festival here. There's no marriage to be had. There's no, and I'm hearing just in my ear, you've done this to me. You're, whether it's actually happening or not, that's what Kel's hearing. You've done this to me. This is worse than death. You're a fool. I've always hated you. And the wood of its body starts sprouting little mosses and plants. And I think Kel just kind of joins the cathedral in a plant form.
That feels like a good epilogue for Kel. If you have more to say, you can, but I like that. Well, let's talk about epilogues. You can narrate any point in the future. You can narrate the world in your absence, I suppose. Whoever wants to begin, go ahead.
I want to go at least 10 years ahead. We're inside my oldest brother's bedroom. I was one of two sons. My mother gave birth to 5 children, 3 daughters and 2 sons. I was the second middle child, but the second oldest son. And we see my mother's much aged face, like look up, covered in tears, her oldest dead on the bed of some sort of consumption sickness. And the realization that she has no heir, no male heir. And that with her son dying and with Orlin being never brought back, that she'll be dead by night.
I can go. So you'll see possibly, say about 5 years in the future, where you see a young girl or an older girl holding a little finch with a golden chain on it and is trying to teach it to fly away. It goes, she lifts it up and it falls into darkness. And on the other side of darkness, you will see Kiva walking in what is dark. Her arm falls off where one of the roots snatched it from. And what you see is a host of bugs coming out to where the arm should be. She leans down, picks it up, puts it back on, and keeps walking.
It's hard to say exactly how far in the future it is. And, time really stops making sense when you're lost in the pain of it constantly. And I am broken, nestled in the roots of a massive tree. And I have felt every pain, every axe strike, every fire for who knows how long. And The only thing I've ever brought is death and destruction, and that is all that I will continue to bring.
So I had an idea for Cal. I know I said that that would be my epilogue, but I had this idea and I got to share it or it'll kill me. I think like 20 years from now, some other band of explorers makes their way into the cathedral. And there's on the dais a wedding scene in branches and leaves. And it's clearly Kel and their spouse. And the spouse just has continuous swamp tears rolling down their face. And a look of just constant screaming that never was satisfied.
Let's roll credits.
We'll be right back on the other side. Before we go to debrief, Jason, I just cannot thank you enough for taking the time to run this
great.
for us.
Yeah, thank you.
This was just fantastic.
So
and
good.
an incredible gift to the channel. So thank you so much.
You bet. You bet. Thanks for having me.
What would you like to hear from us, Jason?
Well, I think we should just do a debrief. We don't have to do it in the Stars and Wishes format unless or just stars, I guess. I'm just curious to hear what everyone thought of the game. I'll begin by just kind of saying that I really, it was so interesting because when I was thinking about some of the moments that were like kind of in between sessions, I was like, okay, like in between sessions, I was like thinking like, oh, okay, we've got this like interesting thing with Talia. We got this snake thing. I'm not really sure what's going to happen with this Kingsguard situation. Like I had all these like ideas floating around my mind and I was like, what am I going to do? And I remember having a really distinct thought. I was like, oh wait, just trust Trophy Dark. And I was like, and that means just letting the risk roll tell me what's going to happen, right? And doing that, I think, was the right move. Like I could have said what was in that copse of trees, right? I could have totally narrated that. It probably would have been a lot of fun, but there's something more special about letting Lizzie fill in those details, right? And letting the table fill in those details with the risk roll. So I thought everyone did a really great job, especially in the second session, because I could tell you kind of mastered it, really getting into the devil's bargains and the risk roll and like kind of working with that to tell the story. So yeah, just really happy with it. I love these characters. Such a nice grim ending for all the characters. I love contest rolls at the end in Ring 5. That's always fun. I was trying to set it up to where like that was going to be inevitable. Like that's what my devil's bargains were pushing towards.
Yep.
Making you all fight each other at the end, right? So I was really happy with that. And I really like that just sort of like kind of sad ending with Kel. Just so sad and like, yeah, there's something just really weird and poignant and sad about it. And yeah, it was great. I enjoyed Talia, that moment of like kind of standing like sentry like in front of the cathedral. I thought that was incredible. So yeah, just really good storytelling all around. I thought this was I would have watched this movie, right? So yeah, those
a real good way to put it.
Yeah,
what I thought was real interesting for me is something that happens over and over again, which is character arcs stories that arc across just happen as you play.
Mhm.
And this it builds off what you said, Jason. Trust Trophy Dark. It's not, I mean, Trophy Dark obviously has many mechanisms mechanically built into it, but it's just it's the magic of this hobby. And
Mhm.
I think it's a reminder for all of us players and GMs: don't overthink it.
Mhm.
Don't script it more than anything. Just trust the table and we are inherent storytellers. We will create these arcs. I mean, the arcs for all four of these characters were magic. I loved Kel's voice that we heard really not until episode 2. It made Kel come alive for me. And it just, all of it was just wonderful. I think it's a good example of trust gameplay as much as anything.
What I think is really interesting is like Trophy Dark is so it's linear in the really literal sense.
Yeah.
Like you move from ring 1 to ring 2 to ring 3 to ring 4 to ring 5. Certain things are always going to happen when you move through those rings. I mean, it's like the definition of linear, right? And we've been told for decades that linear role-playing games are bad, right? But in this instance, the linearity actually, like, it's the stuff that's happening on the sides of the line, right? It's the width, right? It's the, yes, we're all going in this direction, but there's so much space to the left and to the right. We're eventually going to get back into the middle, but while we're on the left and the right, we have so much space to like tell story. And I think that's what's really kind of the beauty of it, you know? And also, like, I've always said this, and it remains true. I've always said that Trophy Dark, especially, is like the A24 horror movie game, the role-playing game, right? And it really is, right? Like, it really is. Like, this was a Green Knight-ass story, right? Like, it was very that, you know? So, that ending, that sort of like big operatic bloody ending, like that's so great. And I don't know, it was just really fun. Just a good time. It's always a good time, but it was a really good one. This is a good one too. Like,
Dika?
Oh my gosh, me. Yay. Okay, so I thoroughly enjoyed myself. I love playing to lose. I love that we all had interesting characters, especially coming from a random aspect, and how we just kind of delved into it to see what they become. I really love that aspect because we spent, again, 15 minutes creating these characters. It's like, okay, I'm picturing this, and this. Let's see how it plays out. But knowing that the ending is going to be bad for the most part was really, I don't want to say therapeutic. That's not
it's
the right word to
liberating,
use.
right?
It is.
Yeah, it's like,
yeah, it truly like liberates the gameplay, right? Like when you know your character's doomed, it changes the way you approach the story, you know?
Yep.
how can I take my friends down with me on this roller coaster ride? So that was it was a lot of fun. I want to say this, and I'll give a shout out to Kel in general, because I think we all know that person who just won't get over someone get to that extreme level. And that's the vibes I was getting. And I was like, oh, we all feel bad for him. I don't. But I think everyone did fantastic. And if anything, I'm happy I got to experience this story with this table.
It's fun.
Very lucky in that regard.
Yeah, this is a lot of fun. I do lots of streams. Like I make lots of appearances on streams and podcast channels and stuff, and but I don't often get to do it for Trophy. So like that was really fun. Like I'm almost always making an appearance for Brindlewood Bay or The Between or one of my games. So it was really fun to come onto a stream and play Trophy. I haven't played Trophy Dark in a long time, actually.
No kidding.
Yeah, and so it was really good to get back and to stretch those muscles. And I thought everyone did just such a good job of like embracing like what the game wants you to do, you know, and kind of embracing the danger. And I really felt it in the second session. Like I felt like in the second session, I felt like there was some tentativeness in the first session, but I think that's normal. Yeah. The second session, I felt like everyone really embraced and pushed into the danger, right? Like, okay, I'm pushing into the danger in session 2. And so I was really happy with that. Trophy really wants you to be doing that. You know, it wants you to be like if there's a dark thing over here, you need to be moving towards that dark thing, right? So, yeah. And while I think that like while I think that like Talia's decision to not have the adder bite her was a valid one and a good one, it led to a great scene. I also would have loved to have seen the scene of the adder biting you. I think there were like two good outcomes there, right? So yeah, it was like
Yes.
there were two good choices basically,
Yep.
and so that's always fun to like think about like how it could have gone. You know,
Yes.
like I would have accepted Lizzie deciding to just not roll against the tree roots at all in ring 4 and just take the place of that person. That would have been great, right? Like
I considered it.
yeah, I mean that would have been a very cool outcome also. Like so it's fun to kind of see like how things can go, but nothing happens unless you're like pushing into the darkness, you know, like you have to be doing that. So
Jason, real quick in the chat, Z asked, is there any chance there'll be a new printing of Trophy Gold?
So Trophy Dark and Trophy Gold are currently out of print, sadly. Trophy Gold, there might still. I was under the impression there were still some Trophy Golds, but maybe there's not.
I got I got the box set or the collection, the slipcase, like
Yeah.
8 months ago, and it took me a while to find it.
They are we. So here's the problem. So the problem right now is that the trophy books are pretty expensive to print because they're super
Gorgeous.
Yeah, they're really high quality books, and we can do it. We could do it. The problem, I would just do like a print run and then just sell the print run. If not for the fact that I have no idea what the tariff situation is right now. And I don't know if my print run is going to be 50% more expensive than I thought it was going to be, right? So because I don't know that, that basically, we had plans to do it, and it was just like, I don't know what we do now. We actually originally printed Trophy in Europe, and I wanted to move it to China because it was cheaper, but I was like, okay, well, so we got China tariff nonsense, so maybe we'll just go ahead and print it at the European printer again. But now we have a 50% tariff coming next month, maybe. So like, so basically, I don't know how to do it like that. What is possible is we might be able to crowdfund a print run so that we would at least have some financial buffer for that. So I don't know, but for right now, there's not like any immediate short-term plans because of the ridiculous state of our supply chain and global economic order that's going on right now.
If you want a reprint of the trophy slipcase, remember that in the ballot box in 3.5 years when you're voting.
Like write your congressman, let him know.
Vote for Trophy.
You're so funny thinking we're going to have another election.
Yeah. So no, it's a bummer. I don't know, and I don't know. Like, I mean, you can still get Trophy Loom. I know there's still some copies of Loom, but I don't know about Golden Dark. It's just it's gonna be a minute, sadly. So, but the PDFs are still around, and so one thing I have been doing for people who are paying attention in chat and curious, if you buy Loom, I will just give you a PDF copy of Dark and Gold, so you have that at least until we're able to print the hardcovers. So you just have to email us. But, yeah.
So real quick, Lizzie and then Nathan.
Oh man, first of all, Jason streams. I've got one. I'd love to have you. Oh man.
Nope, I show up wherever I'm asked.
I will ask. Hooray! Anyway, this game was so far away from anything that I would normally play, and I loved every minute of it. I literally sat on the edge of my seat, hanging on every single word. This has been a really incredible experience to be able to sit at this table, and I am very grateful to be
I felt like you really hit your stride in the session.
Thank you.
I think you really I could tell like you were like really locked into it this session, like what the game was doing. So
yeah,
Nathan,
I loved it all. I'll give it to
close us
Nathan.
First of all, big shout out to Ben Bond. His character keeper was wonderful. Yeah, just absolutely perfect. I've used it for other games, his stuff for other games, and it's always great. I think when I started, Jason, you have a way of using pacing and quiet in a way that I have, like in one of the things I do is mediation, and I use quiet in mediation quite a bit, but I don't think I don't have the knack you have for using it in GMing. And it's really effective. It's really good.
Thank you.
All right, wonderful. Go to Trophy Doc. I put it in the chat. It's trophy-rpg, right? .com. Is that right?
Or gauntlet-rpg.com. Either is where
Yep.
either is fine.
Either one, you can grab it. Links to like the character keeper, the dice roller that we're using. That's all there.
That's all on Trophy RPG. Yeah, you can find
phenomenal list of resources that you've got there on that site. Absolutely fantastic. Stream coming up. If you are like me and can't get enough Dika, we've got Dika coming on Sentinels Thursday. So make sure you check that out. Then we're going to go to Mothership on Saturday, and then we're going to finish out our Carl Gaden game on Sunday. Thanks so much.
Hi, everybody.
All right, we're free. Howdy, friends. Thank you for watching. All our content is archived and organized in playlists on the Third Floor Wars YouTube channel. Check it out. And if you could like, follow, subscribe, and even set your notifications to this channel on YouTube and Twitch, we'd appreciate it, and it'll make sure that you catch all of our content. I talk with creators, designers, and experts across the gaming landscape in every episode of our podcast, Tabletop Talk. Open up your favorite podcatcher and search for Tabletop Talk from Third Floor Wars. Support your creators. They make the content you love, and it's your support that makes it happen. If you want to help us, go to Third Floor Wars on patreon.com, and you can help us for as little as $1 a month. Thanks again. We'll see you next time. Take care.